All right, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for the Illinois ACAC Virtual College Fair. We're excited to have you here. Just a few quick housekeeping items before we actually get started with our presentations. You have the ability to ask questions during these presentations by using the Q&A function in Zoom. One thing I would ask is that you just make sure that you direct those specifically to the institution or institutions you're wanting to hear from. That way you get the best information for your specific college search. Your camera and microphone are off, so no worries there, but just know that Q&A function is there for you to communicate with us. This is the end of the sessions for the Illinois ACAC Virtual Fair offerings. However, the recordings will be available within about a week on strivescan.com/Illinois. You are in room F2, and so you're going to be hearing from these 6 institutions that are under session F2, and so I'm going to now turn it over to Benedictine University.
Hi, I'm Dan O'Leary. I am a freshman admissions counselor here with Benedictine University. So yeah, again, my name is Dan O'Leary. So Benedictine is located in Lisle, Illinois. If you don't know where that is, that's about 25 miles west of Chicago. It's a really nice location for us. We're actually kind of nestled right between 88 and 355, which are 2 highways in the area. Really allows our students to get anywhere, whether that's for internships or student teaching opportunities. Really kind of opens up the area for us. Benedictine is, again, a small Catholic private nonprofit institution. That Catholic identity is rooted in the rule of St. Benedict and its 10 Benedictine hallmarks. Among those hallmarks are community, hospitality, and stewardship, and you'll see those prevalent and exhibited by Benedictine faculty, staff, students, and alumni each and every day. Speaking of that small size, we boast a 13-to-1 student-faculty ratio. We really see that help out in our students' education. All of our professors are on campus to teach. Specifically, they're here for you guys. So none of them are going to be, working specifically on research on the side. That's not their main priority on campus if they are doing something like that. And then we do boast a strong liberal arts curriculum. One thing that we really love about that is how it develops our students' soft skills. It really helps them kind of get a leg up on the competition when they're looking for jobs, because they're more well-rounded in their education. We have a very active alumni network of 32,000 alumni worldwide, and they are placed in 96 of the top Fortune 100 companies. They're in places like Google and Microsoft and ExxonMobil, and we see a lot of those alumni coming back to come to Benedictine with either talks on campus, other opportunities like that, as well as internship opportunities for our current students. So at Benedictine, we have 41 majors, 37 minors, and 17 pre-professional programs. Those are housed in our 4 colleges: the Daniel L. Goodwin College of Business, the College of Education and Health Services, the College of Liberal Arts, and the College of Science. When you're at Benedictine, you're going to be paired with an academic advisor right away to help map out that path to degree completion and make sure that you're taking all of the classes you want, as well as all of the classes you need to get to that next step towards your career or towards whatever next step in your education that may be. Speaking of those next steps in education, we have many established partnerships and pathways to really get you moving towards those next things. We have a partnership with Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine, or LECOM. That's in Erie, Pennsylvania. And that is a great opportunity for our students where they can actually get accepted into medical school before they even step foot on campus at Benedictine. We also have great programs with Midwestern here in Illinois through pharmacy, as well as physical therapy. And we also have partnerships with Manchester University and Marian University, both in Indiana. At Benedictine, we have 19 NCAA Division III sports and 5 different club sports, as well as 40+ clubs and student organizations, and then a number of events hosted throughout the years by those students and by those clubs and organizations and by those sports. At Benedictine, there's always something to do on every single weekend, and we're happy to help out and find a club that you might not see on campus right away. Grab 3 or 4 friends and you'll be able to get that started. Just a brief bit about tuition. These are our numbers for our 2020-2021 tuition. We also want to talk about our tuition lock and freeze. So this is something that we're really proud to be able to do. It means that your tuition that your freshman year is going to stay the same throughout your all 4 years. So when you're here, not just what it's going to be your freshman year, it's going to be the same when it comes to your senior year. So that means we're making that commitment to you as you guys make that commitment to us. A lot of the times we're seeing similar institutions, similar sized institutions, especially private, go up around 2 to 3% every year. We didn't want that to happen because we want you guys to be able to afford all 4 years here. We want you to know exactly what it's going to look like, not for your first year, but for all 4. So then also we do have some visit opportunities coming up. We are hosting on-campus visits right now. You can find those online at ben.edu/visit. Throughout the summer, we'll be doing that. Also, coming in the fall, we'll do academic major info nights where we'll have our faculty and students on campus talking about their majors and majors that you might be interested in. So definitely come check those out. Come see us. We'd be happy to have you on campus. And that's all I've got.
Okay, thank you so much for getting us started. And for those joining in, just as a reminder, please feel free to utilize the Q&A functions so that we can best assist you if you have any questions for our colleges or universities joining. We are now going to hear from Missouri Southern State University.
Good evening, guys. My name is Torrance Baldwin, and I'm from Missouri Southern State University. I cover St. Louis, Illinois, and I cover like New York and New Jersey and some other northeastern states too. But for you guys, I'm just going to be helping you all. So I'm going to get started on the presentation. All right, so Missouri Southern State University is located in Joplin, Missouri. And I don't have a little map, but if you are in like St. Louis, or if you're in maybe like St. Louis County, then it will probably be about 4 hours for you. Or if you're coming from like Chicago or like anywhere in that area, then it's like closer to 8. So it's a bit of a distance. But there are many different states that you can actually come from and still be considered an in-state student. And Illinois is one of those states. So even though you're from a different state, you technically would still be an in-state student. We have an enrollment of 5,604 students. That means that you will more than likely have small class sizes. We have a teacher to student ratio of about 17:1. We have a small city size of about 50,000. So you will get a small city experience too, but it's a very beautiful city, a lot to do, very artsy, and there's quite a bit of places you can go to outside of classes, like maybe art, movies, bowling, skating, tennis courts, things like that. It's a lot to do in Joplin, and there's a mall too. Our majors on campus are really great. We have over 140 available right now. They're organized in 4 different colleges. So depending on what your major is will determine what college you go into. And our top 5 right now are criminal justice, biology, teacher education, health science, and business. Now they're all great for their own individual reasons. Mainly, they really allow you to have a hands-on experience. We have stimulation type labs. We have classes that are set up like doctor's offices. We have teachers or students who would like to study teaching, go into observations their sophomore year. We have classes that are set up like the offices that they're going to be going into when they're actually starting their field. So we want to make sure the experience is as real as possible. Also, we have other great programs that aren't mentioned, like psychology or writing, for instance. That's within our business, but within our journalism program, So there are many things that are great with our school that are just not mentioned in the top 5, but are still notable. We have over 70 organizations, so if you would like to join anything outside of classes, you're more than welcome to. Or if you want to do anything that's involved in your academics to just enhance your resume, then you're more than welcome to. We have 8 bands, they sound amazing. 4 choirs, so you're more than welcome to join the concerts, or if you want to be a part of these organizations, you're welcome to do that too. There's 15 athletic programs, and you can participate in any one of them and earn scholarships while you're playing, because we do compete in the NCAA tournament in the Division II, also with the MIAA division, MIAA as well. We have 16 partner schools in other countries. You can go to any one of them and pay in-state tuition. And that's great, knowing that you don't have to pay any more than what you already expected. And you can go to other states and pay for their tuition too, if you wanted to go to another school and then come back and then continue from where you left off. That's called the National Student Exchange Program. Our tuition is pretty reasonable. It's about $7,461, give or take. Of course, that's going to vary depending on what kind of setup you want for your tuition. Also, your kind of room and board tuition is going to make a difference too. But it's pretty reasonable, as you can see. The prices are pretty nice. The pictures are definitely very nice. I mentioned that these are all of the states that you can come from and still pay in-state tuition. So that's called the Lion Pride territory. And here's what our price is looking like. So if you're looking for like any scholarship information, this is going to be good for students that are applying with ACT scores or SAT scores and with their transcript. If you apply with both of those, then you don't have to apply for any one of these 3 scholarships. We'll just let you know if you get them. And then we have over 300 scholarships for our foundations too, ranging from $400 to $6,000. So there's one application to apply for that. To get into the school, you only need to get one of these 3 requirements. So it's a really easy school to get into. We do have visit dates. We have days coming up on Saturdays. If you're available next Saturday or May 22nd, June 26th, or July 17th, come out any one of these days during a morning or afternoon session. And then we do have Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. sessions if you need to do that. But here's my contact info. I'll put it in the chat so you can message me at your own will. And I was really happy to talk to you guys. Okay, thanks and have a great evening.
All right, thank you so much to Missouri Southern State University. And again, just as a reminder to those joining in, please utilize that Q&A function. And we are now going to hear from Oakland University.
Great, thank you. Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Drew Huff. I am one of the undergraduate admissions advisors with our Office of Undergraduate Admissions at Oakland University. Very happy to be speaking with you all today. As I get started here, I do want to point out the QR code on our main title screen right here. If you would like, you can scan that QR code and it will take you to a link of a form that you can fill out to have more information sent to you about Oakland University if you are interested. So that's going to be right here, and then I'll have it again at the end of the presentation. So feel free to scan that with your smartphone if you're able right now. Or at the end of the presentation. But I want to go ahead and get started and talk a little bit about OU. So Oakland University is located in Rochester, Michigan, which is about 45 minutes north of downtown Detroit. To give some reference for Illinois specifically, it's about a 5-hour drive from Chicago. We are located right in the heart of the Metro Detroit area, surrounded by some very popular businesses. We're right near Fiat Chrysler or Stellantis world headquarters, as well as some other major industries too. But we are a medium-sized institution. We have just over 19,000 students that attend OU in both undergraduate and graduate programs. We have an average undergraduate course size of about 35 students per course. That does vary, but that's on average. Most classes, though, within your major, you'll be seeing class sizes closer to the high teens, low 20s. We have over 300 different student organizations that students can join in a number of different areas. And we also have 18 Division I men's and women's athletic sports teams. So one of our big highlights, though, of course, is going to be our academics. We have more than 140 different undergraduate programs that students can choose from. That's going to be ranging in a number of different areas. We are primarily a liberal arts and sciences university, with most of our majors being in those areas, but we do have specialized schools in engineering, computer science, nursing, health sciences, business, a school of music, theater, and dance, as well as some others. So we like to keep our options diverse for our students. We want all students to have a degree that they can utilize toward their career, regardless of what that degree or career is, or whatever future path that they're hoping to pursue. We want that to be a focus. We also have a huge focus on our research here at Oakland University. So we are a very research-oriented institution. You can participate in undergraduate research starting your freshman year. You can work with our faculty members on campus. Perhaps you meet with a professor that you enjoy their subject matter that they're teaching, and they happen to be having a research lab on campus. You can help out there, and throughout more studying and time and work within those labs, you can be a published researcher or a research assistant in your freshman year even and throughout. So there's a lot of really great opportunities, and we have a ton of different areas that students can participate in research with. Obviously, being a little bit further away from Illinois, we do offer on-campus living, though it is completely optional for our students to do. We have just over 3,000 students that usually live on campus in one of our 7 different residence halls and 2 student apartment complexes. It's a really awesome opportunity that we encourage all students to look into. Again, though, it is totally optional. If you'd like to take a virtual tour of one of our or any of our residence halls on campus and see what the rooms look like, you can go to oakland.edu/housing or that tiny URL up there in the top right corner, tinyurl.com/OU housing, to see more in-depth pictures and videos of our on-campus living options. I obviously want to talk a little bit about our cost of attendance, because that's definitely going to be a very important part of this decision-making process for you all. For our average year of tuition here at OU, we're generally looking just over the $13,000 mark. That's going to be the cost of your classes. Again, housing is completely optional, so that is not a cost that you need to incur if you choose to live off campus, or maybe have a family member who lives close by that you can commute to campus from. That cost does not need to be incurred if you don't want it to be. But with housing and full-time student, living on campus, taking classes full-time, we're generally going to be looking at about the $24,000 mark. Now, of course, these numbers are before any sort of financial aid, scholarships, loans, grants, anything like that is applied. So that is something to keep in mind. But this is going to be our average cost of attendance for a year here at OU. Another thing important to note about these numbers is that they are all-inclusive. We have absolutely no fees here at OU. No additional fees are charged to you when you pay for your classes. When you're paying for your tuition and you're paying for your housing, you're paying for all of the services on campus, everything encompassed within being a student here at OU, besides your own personal costs like groceries, gas, textbooks, those types of things. But anything included with a service provided by the institution, that's going to be free to you. Parking is free. Using the tutoring center, the recreation center, all of our athletic events are completely free to go to on campus for students. If you live on campus, you don't have to bring quarters to do your laundry or load money onto a laundry card. It's all included. We don't want to nickel and dime students for everything that we offer on campus. So when you're thinking about our total cost of attendance, also think about some of the other fees that you may need to pay elsewhere but wouldn't have to pay at OU. As I finish up here, I have a quick video. I know sometimes the videos come through a little wonky on Zoom, but I do want to show it to you just because it'll give you a great look at our campus.
College is about more than just hitting the books and making the grade. It's about the experience. It's about the journey that we take to discovery and the adventure along the way.
At Oakland University, we want you to remember your experience.
We want you to create lifelong memories as both a gateway to your past and an ode to your future. We want you to discover your passion and to pursue your dreams.
We want to guide you as you transform into who you really want to be.
Through more than 300 student organizations, 17 fraternities and sororities, 18 NCAA Division I athletic programs, and an endless stream of campus events, we create an environment where you can thrive.
No matter who you are, where you're from, or what you want, you'll find exactly what inspires you at OU.
Here, you will find the desire for success and the determination to succeed.
Situated just outside of downtown Detroit in the heart of Rochester and Auburn Hills, we create a campus life dedicated to your experience.
We create a space for our 20,000 students to grow, experience, and succeed. We create opportunities, educational, cultural, recreational, and social, all for you.
This is OU. Welcome home.
Awesome. Yes. So as I finish up, I obviously want to talk a little bit about our application process. The application for Oakland University is totally free whenever you want to do it. It is open right now if you are a senior. If you are a junior or lower, the application generally opens the summer between your junior and senior year, generally in July. That application is completely free to do. We are test optional for the fall of 2021 and 2022 for our students. So SAT or ACT scores will not be required for admission, just your high school transcript. Test test scores will be encouraged to be sent to us though for some scholarship availability, and you are welcome to go onto our website to look at all of the different nuances of that process. Here's my contact information as you finish up, so feel free to take a screenshot of this or scan that QR code and we will contact you with more information. You can also visit oakland.edu/visit. We have a lot of on-campus or off-campus virtual events that we are planning for our students and are hoping to have some on-campus events in the future here too. So feel free to go there to register for one of our current virtual events. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me in the future. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much to Oakland University for their time. And again, just as another reminder to send those questions in so that our colleges and universities can respond to you. Up next, we are going to hear from Knox College.
Awesome. Thank you all so much so far. Sorry, I'm just getting my timer ready. So I'm making sure I'm on top of everything. Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for having me. My name is Colin Kalmus. I'm an admission counselor here. I use he, him pronouns. I'm going to be moving a little bit quick through this presentation. So let's get started. So some numbers right off the bat. So Knox College, we are a school of about 1,200 students. We have an 11-to-1 student to faculty ratio. Average class has about 14 or so. We have 18 NCAA Division III teams, and on top of that, 45 our students come from 45 different states, 49 different countries. We have 100+ student-run organizations. On top of that, we are a top 25 most diverse liberal arts college with 32% of our students self-identified as students of color, and we're a top 15 most international liberal arts college with 19% of students identifying as international students. We're also one of the 40 colleges that changes lives. If you have this book, I highly recommend checking out. If you don't, definitely go get it. There's some other amazing schools in there. Knox's chapter, I think, is a perfect encapsulation of what it's like to be here. I highly recommend checking it out. So here's some stats. These are admission statistics. I'll clarify some of them as well. So 67% of applicants are offered admission. Average unweighted GPA of roughly about 3.5, and that's typically taking AP, IB, honors coursework. And on top of that, we do receive information from your school about what coursework is available. So if you don't have AP or IB coursework, we have that on hand, so don't stress out about that. AC composite score mid 50% range of 24 to 31, equivalent to roughly about 1092, 1350 on the SAT. We are test optional. We've been test optional since 2006, and we're going to continue to be test optional from here on. So if you don't want some of your test scores, don't have to. You are not locked out of scholarship opportunities or anything of that sort. So how does it feel to be here? Feels busy, but it's not chaotic. Our students are very busy, and I think our academic structure, which I'll kind of jump to a little bit later, really allows you to be involved in a lot of different things. It's productive, but it's not exclusively goal-oriented. You can take classes outside of your major. You can get involved in things that you're passionate about. You can study biology, but then also take art classes, and then also, do publish things in like the literary arts magazine. It's collaborative, but it is not competitive. We take a very collaborative approach, and that is with things such as research, internships, group projects, dialogue, and discussion. We're philosophical, but we're not pretentious. We'll have those challenging conversations, but we're very Midwestern, so we're not going to get too pretentious about it. We're friendly, but not shallow. This is very much so the place that you're going to see somebody constantly on your walk to class. You're going to become friends with them just because of that. This is a place that you build connections because of the fact that it's a small institution, but that's very intentional. We're unapologetically smart in the fact that our students are so smart and so dedicated to just the things that they're studying. And on top of that, we're human. If you're looking at a lot of our marketing materials, you're going to see this phrase that pops up called human power. Human powered community, human powered experience is a marketing phrase, but something about what it's like to be here at Knox. So some ways to think about our exact location. Located in Galesburg, it's roughly about 3 hours from the city of Chicago. It's a city of about 33,000 people. It's a place with roots. Knox and Galesburg were found at the same time by the same people. So we have tons of connections within this community. It's a great place for food. I highly recommend going to our downtown area and grabbing a bite to eat. There's some amazing pizza, amazing Japanese, Korean, amazing burgers as well. I highly recommend going to Galesburg and just get a bite to eat. It's a place that's kind of like our places. We have an Amtrak station directly, roughly about 2 blocks from our campus. So it's incredibly easy to get to our campus, especially if you're coming from around Chicagoland area. It's also an opportunity. There's internship opportunities, there's volunteer opportunities. A lot of our students make a difference within our community, and they're super engaged with the community of Galesburg. So some 3 things you won't find anywhere else. We have the Power of Experience grant that's available to every single student. We have a 3-3 academic calendar, which I'll jump back to a little bit later, and immersion terms. So the Power of Experience grant is a $2,000 investment in your future. It's basically Knox paying you $2,000 to get some research, internship, community service opportunity, or study abroad opportunity. How do we do it though? We have 3 classes every single term, and each term is 10 weeks long. You have 3 terms per year, so fall term, winter term, and spring term. I said 3-3 earlier. That's where we're getting the 3-3 from. Gives you a chance to focus on your coursework, but not spread yourself thin, and even take classes outside of your major and really explore outside of just doing different things. Here's some of the different majors and minors that we offer here. So some of the ones in purple are new as of last year, I believe. And every single student at Knox has at the very least a major and a minor. So it's incredibly easy to do multidisciplinary study, especially here at Knox. We also offer a Bachelor of Science in addition to a Bachelor of Arts for many of the programs with the plus here. We do offer immersion terms, which are terms where all 3 of your classes, jumping back a little bit to that 3-3 calendar, all 3 of those classes would be centered around one particular subject. So we offer clinical psychology term, Green Oaks, Japan term, open studio, repertory theater term, and startup term. So we have a high overall cost of $60,000, $144,000. No student pays that. You're going to receive scholarship if you're admitted to Knox. And on top of that, if you still have need, we are going to bring it down significantly just in your overall cost. So if you're looking at this chart to the right, you definitely see we're going to bring down your cost overall pretty cheap. So after Knox, what comes next? So we're finding for students who have above a 3.5 GPA, 100% accepted into medical school programs. Last year alone, every single student in our pre-law program was accepted into law school. 2,000 plus donors are Alumni Proud Day. And then on top of that, we're in the top 4% of liberal arts college and producing successful PhD candidates, with many students going on to directly into PhD programs at Yale, MIT, and just other amazing schools. We have the nation's first Peace Corps prep program. And 6 years in a row, we've been in the Forbes Grateful Grad Index. So as we're wrapping up, some things to remember about Knox. We offer these immersion terms, these Power of Experience grant, and the 3-3 academic calendar where you can focus on your curriculum and also take things outside of your major. It's a highly dynamic, highly diverse campus where there's no one pathway through Knox. You can carve out a ton of different directions, but there's nothing that's going to be laid out saying you have to do this. You can really expand. You're going to have lots of opportunities to follow different pathways. You have your faculty advisor you meet with every single term, but there's nobody saying you can only do this here. There's tons of opportunities. And this is just a place where you're going to interact with people who aren't like you, who challenge you in so many different ways. And that's part of the Knox experience. So thank you so much. There's some other amazing schools here as well as just throughout the entire this presentation. I'll drop some information if you want to request some information here in the chat really quickly. So, but thank you all so much.
All right. Thank you so much to Knox College for joining us. And we are now going to turn it over to Augustana College.
Thanks so much. Good evening, everyone. My name is Christian Brown, and I currently serve as a Chicago-based regional for Augustana College. I'll go ahead and get my presentation up here for you. All right, so hopefully you can see that. So Augustana College is located about 3 hours west of Chicago in Quad Cities. So if you've never heard or seen of Quad Cities, technically it's an area of about 5 communities. And I know that math doesn't make sense, but that's what the locals tell me. So it is a community, though, of different places. We are right at the Mississippi River, which separates us from the Illinois and Iowa state line. Really beautiful community. I would consider it to be kind of like a mid-sized community with about 400,000 people between the 5 different areas that make up that Quad Cities name. So quick facts about our university. We currently have about 2,500 students. So we are not necessarily the smallest liberal arts school in the world, but we definitely aren't large. Because of that, our general makeup tends to lend to some smaller classroom sizes. So you do see about an average of 18 students. If you are a student looking for a very intimate class setting, maybe an in-state option, a liberal arts background, we can be a really good fit for you. We do not lack in any type of major options as well. We are currently sitting at about 90 different academic programs. We offer, a plethora of things, and our 2 newest programs added within the last year are data analytics as well as kinesiology. So if you're looking for those different types of paths, those are 2 newest programs for us. We have also added our first ever master's or graduate level program in communication sciences and disorders with a freshman track for that as well. So very excited about those opportunities there. We are a very robust community. So we like to think of our students as liking that sense of balance, right? Wanting to be able to not give things up. So when you think about our students, you think about, maybe they're playing an instrument and they're also a neuroscience student. Very, very common for us. So again, we like to kind of feed into, not having students necessarily have to give things up. One of the things that makes for a really great experience, similar to some of the other institutions, we like to be intentional behind creating equity of experiences with our students. We realize everyone comes to college, and sometimes those experiences are different. Some are happy to be there. Some are like scraping by to get that money to get there. And we realize that. And so we want to make sure that all students have the ability to say, hey, there's this awesome experience outside the classroom, and I want to be able to have that. So Augie Choice is $2,000 of experiential learning money to try to help you get on that path, or at least get you started to whatever that might be, whether it's an internship, research, international program. We want to help make sure that that is a capability for you, no matter your background, financial stance, that sort of thing. So jumping over into just the academics, we are really, really serious about our academics at Augustana. We want to make sure that students are prepared, not only academically, but also as humans. And so you'll see that reflected in our application process. Generally speaking, our students have over a 3.0 when they're admitted to our campus. We're looking for co-curricular fit. We want to know, what are you interested in? And because of that, folks like me, based in the Chicagoland area, as well as on campus, take time to complete interviews with students. And so we suggest hey, we know a lot about you on paper, but we want to know about you directly from you. And so if you have that opportunity, we absolutely suggest you take it. It is available for all students. And then thinking about things like demonstrated interest. I don't know if colleges talk about that a whole bunch, but it does exist and it's a thing. And so coming to these types of presentations and showing your interest is really, really helpful as we help you through that college search process. Scholarships and financial aid. We try to be as generous as we possibly can. There are many ways to scholarships at Augustana. Your typical merit scholarship opportunities will be reviewed at the time that you apply, so there's no special application for those. However, we do have specialty awards based on music, visual performance, theater. We even now have a micro scholarship in justice and social change, as we realize that is a very serious topic, as it should be, and we want to make sure that our students know what kind of community they're coming into before they arrive. So plenty of ways to earn up to about $28,000 in just merit scholarship dollars, and then additional awards outside of that. We do look at need, and so we ask that if you're able to submit the FAFSA, or if you're an Illinois resident, the alternative app, and that can also help to make up some of that gap within your financial aid information. As you're thinking about the process, we hope that you will continue to make efforts to go forward for things such as visits. We are open for visits right now and are hosting students technically in our Quad Cities area, but also even in our local community of Chicagoland. So if you happen to be a student that can get to that area pretty quickly, we'd love to hear from you. Again, we are starting appointments and interviews for students who are as early as your junior year. So if you're interested in having conversations, we'd love to chat with you. We also have some virtual faculty sessions. So if you're a junior or a senior even, and maybe still deciding and you want to connect with some of our faculty members, we have some excellent opportunities to do that as well. So I'll go ahead and drop my information in the chat. I hope that this has intrigued a little bit of interest and you'll reach out, and I look forward to hopefully connecting at a later date. Thanks so much.
All right, perfect. So just as a reminder, please feel free to send in those questions for any of our institutions joining. This is our last presentation, so in order to give our representatives enough time to get back to you, this would be a great time to do that. Last and certainly not least, we are now going to hear from Michigan State University.
Thank you all very much for taking some time out of your evening to learn about this great set of colleges. We really appreciate that. We know that this has been a tough year and you've spent a lot of time in front of a screen, and this is just another event where you're doing that. So thank you again for taking your time out of the evening, or whenever you're watching this, maybe at a later date, to come learn about this great set of schools. Once again, last chance to use that Q&A, and I'll have just a couple minutes after my presentation to check that too. But here is my contact information. I want to share that here up front. So I am a regional rep that's based in the Chicago area. We actually have 2 full-time staff members here in the Chicago area to work with our Illinois students. My colleague Sylvia Hernandez focuses on Lake and Cook County, whereas I basically have all the other counties in Illinois. So we are your Illinois recruiting team for anyone who is checking out Michigan State University. And we do get a really large number of students from Illinois. We actually get more students from Illinois every year in terms of applications and new students than any other place in the US. We are a very big, diverse school, and I'll get to a little bit more about that here in just a second. But first, I like to focus on just kind of some basic questions. We only have like 5-6 minutes here to go through things, so I try to focus on those big questions of where, who, what, how, try to just tackle those. And hopefully this will pique your interest to follow up with us, learn more about us online, reach out to us as your admissions team. Come see the campus. This is just kind of an introduction. So for those of you that don't know, Michigan State University is in East Lansing, Michigan. It's right outside the state capital of Lansing. So if you're coming from the Chicago area, it's about a 3.5 to 4 hour drive. And you can also take the Amtrak train straight to our campus as well. Then we're located just about an hour, give or take, away from Grand Rapids, Michigan, and about 90 minutes away from Detroit, Michigan. But we actually do get students from throughout Illinois. I'm from Southern Illinois myself, right outside of St. Louis. So we certainly get students from Southern, Central Illinois, Western Illinois as well. So we certainly get students from all over. But once again, we are a school that is getting students from all over the world. We get students from about 140 different countries and all 50 states. So it's certainly a big, diverse school of folks who are coming to make East Lansing, Michigan home. And here's just a few pictures of our campus. You see the football stadium, you see our Wharton Center, just a few great pictures of our 5,300 acre campus. So who are we as a university? Michigan State University, a lot of folks think of the Big Ten, of course. We are a Big Ten school. They think of that big public research university kind of vibe. A lot of people are surprised to hear that we are one of the largest schools in the country, probably about the 8th largest college in the United States of America. So sometimes people are surprised to hear those stats. So who are we? We're a school that has about 50,000 total students and about 39,000 undergraduate students. And again, coming from all over the world to come to MSU. But when you break that down, you're also maybe surprised to hear that about 84% of your classes at Michigan State are going to have 50 students or fewer. So even though we have a lot of students, we also have a lot of faculty and staff to work with those students too. So then what can you do at Michigan State? That's a much broader question to unpack, and we don't have time to do that here, but we know for some of you, your college search, beyond thinking about, wanting to maybe go out of state or go to a bigger public school or maybe a certain target distance you want to be away from home, we know that a lot of you are really steering your college search based on majors. And we have 17 different degree granting academic colleges at Michigan State University, and we have over 200 different majors that we offer at Michigan State. Lots of other things that you can minor in as well. We're ranked 32nd amongst the nation's top public universities by US News and World Report. So we are a school that has a great ranking, great reputation for a lot of our academic programs that you can take advantage of at Michigan State. And then on the back end, when you're going out to look for a job, you're going to see on there, we have a 95% job placement rate, which is actually 12% higher than the national average. You're tapping into an amazing alumni network and a university that, again, a lot of companies are certainly coming to recruit our students from to come to Michigan State when you're thinking about looking for interns and folks to land a job. A lot of companies are coming to Michigan State to conduct job interviews and for our job fairs every year. So you definitely get a great return on investment on your experience at Michigan State. But there's a lot of other things that are maybe on your bucket list as you think about what you want to get out of your college experience too. So certainly folks think about Michigan State for the vast number of clubs and organizations, over 900 of those, research opportunities, entrepreneurship opportunities. Obviously, you think about Big Ten sports, as I said too. But one I always really like to brag on is study abroad. We're actually ranked in the top 10 nationally for student engagement and study abroad. We have about 275 different programs across around 70 different countries, and we actually go to all 7 continents for study abroad programs. And we give all of our out-of-state students a scholarship towards a study abroad experience too. So that is just barely scratching the surface in terms of some of the things you can do at Michigan State. Again, this is all meant to kind of pique your interest to learn more. But we will talk briefly about how do you get to be a Michigan State University student. Some of the other schools obviously talked about their application process and scholarships too. So I certainly want to touch on that briefly here. So our application generally opens up around August 1st, and we do take applications throughout the year. So if you're a high school senior watching this now, you can still apply up until May 1st. If you're a junior or sophomore, know that that application is going to open up around August 1. and that you can apply through the Common App or the Coalition application. We do have our own app on our website too. We are test optional for this year, and we've made a commitment to be test optional for the next 5 years. And we are truly test optional. There's no major that has an exception for that. There's no scholarship that has an exception for that. When you apply to Michigan State, you will automatically be considered for out-of-state scholarships and a spot in our honors college. And again, we are truly test optional. You're going to be considered for the same opportunities, major scholarships, whether you send in a test score or not. We do need your official high school transcript though, as well as your application fee. And we do require one brief essay. We don't require any letters of recommendation or resume or portfolio or anything like that. So that is pretty simple. This is just a glance of some of the scholarships you might receive from us. This does show in reference to grades and test scores, but again, we are test optional, but a range of 5,000 to 15,000 from admissions. And then if you get invited to our honors college, they have additional scholarships too. I will wrap up saying we are not doing official campus visits right now, but we have a lot of great virtual visit opportunities you can take advantage of. And I'll share more about that in the chat briefly here too. We certainly want you to come and see our campus, but right now it's more virtual opportunities or self-guided tours. So thank you very much for checking out our presentation, and go green.
All right, fantastic. And now while Steve goes ahead and shares that information in the chat, we will go ahead and just kind of wrap up. First of all, again, we just really want to thank you students so much for joining this evening and getting some college information. Just a few last minute housekeeping items as we are wrapping up this evening. First of all, there is going to be a survey that is available right after you exit out of this webinar. Just a few questions to let us know how this fair went for you. This really helps us as we plan future events, so please just take just a little bit of time to fill that out. This concludes the Illinois ACAC sessions that are being offered virtually. However, you will have access to the recordings of these sessions. You'll be able to find those on strivescan.com/Illinois, and those should be available within about a week or so. So again, thank you so much to the colleges and universities for joining us, and for you as students, counselors, advocates for helping guide future students on their college search process. We hope that you stay well and have a great evening.